The following is a special presentation of the Minty Organization for the Performing Arts.
Hi everybody, good evening. I'm Charlie Siedenberg, 2020 Minty Community Engagement Award winner and press rep for the Minty Awards. And we have a special evening for you of Front Row Conversations. Here we are with Mike Pinto, founder and executive director of the Minty Awards. How you doing, Mike?
Charlie, great to be with you. It's weird not being in that chair for tonight, but for our special 10th anniversary look back, I could not think of anyone better to help us lead the festivities tonight.
Well, thank you.
And our longest serving community enrichment awardee.
You betcha.
2 years now going
That's
strong. So where do you want to begin?
Well, Mike, let's take a trip down memory lane. How did the Minties get started?
Well, it is a funny story. First off, I was so involved, in high school theater.
Sure. Where'd you go to high school?
St. Joseph by the Sea, was a proud member of the Viking Players. Auditioned for Grease in December 2002. That was my first high school show. In May of 2003, I was male dancer number 5 in that show. And choreographed by Tanya, who still remembers my audition, but we won't get into that for necessary reasons. Did all the shows at sea, and then Tanya was directing the shows at Notre Dame when I was in Wagner. And she needed a Daddy Warbucks for Annie. They had one boy audition for the production of Annie. So she said, could you please come do my Daddy Warbucks? And I said, well, I don't want to be in it with a bunch of high school kids. And she said, well, I got Joey Lento to be Rooster. And I said, I'm in. So that was...
Lento.
That was the fall of 2008. And then the next year I helped her assistant direct Babes in Arms. And that was just a fantastic experience because doing the shows at sea, you were only surrounded by the kids that you saw every day in school, and those were your friends, and that's who you did the shows with. But then at Notre Dame, and then that spring, following Babes in Arms, assistant directing Monty with Anything Goes at Farrell. And for the first time, I'm seeing all these students come together from Farrell, from Hill, from Notre Dame, from Villa, and then Peter's going to Notre Dame.
Collaborating.
Yes, all coming together, forming these friendships. I said, this is a fantastic experience. I loved my days as a Viking Players, but boy, would I have loved to be able to do other school shows and reach out and make those friendships. So that was in the back of my mind. And I started law school in the fall of 2010. And as that wasn't busy enough for me, I said, I need something to challenge me outside of law school. And Tanya, again, very instrumental in my life, it seems, was talking about her friend that lives in Pennsylvania and about the Freddie Awards that they have in Lehigh Valley for the high schools. And she's saying this, this is great. They have this competition for the schools. And I said, well, this is great for us. We need to have this here on Staten Island. And like that, the Minty Awards were born in October of 2010.
Wow. Now, the first ceremony, where was that held?
So that first year we had 5 schools participating.
Okay.
Hill, Villa, Farrell, C, and Peters. And we went to the Snug Harbor Music Hall. And everyone remembers the famed balloon arch that we had at that first ceremony. But that was a fantastic ceremony for a number of reasons. We really didn't know what we were doing. We were making it up on the fly, what we think could have worked. But we had, like I said, the balloon arch to cover the proscenium, and
you certainly had, with all the shows, you would think that you would have the various nominating categories that a Tony Awards would have. Everything from Best Musical to Best Director.
Yes, and we had these nominees. We said, well, we need to have some type of opening number for them. So we had a very watered down opening number. In fact, when Jess was on last week, she reminded me that we sang the majority of the opening number ourselves. And then we had no dancers, we just had them come on. But I remember, and if you look at the photos, and we have some video, the Villa girls painted flats, one for each program cover. For each show. So it had, St. John Villa presents Bye Bye Birdie and the Birdie logo. and High School Musical and Fiddler and so on. And that gave a real nice look to the music hall stage. But it was a lot of fun. Like we said, putting together the awards, having the judges go to all the shows. First time that I got to see all the school's shows, stepping foot into Hill and Villa and Peters for that first year. So that was a lot of fun. And I think we have a little video clip of the 2011 Minty Awards. So if we can...
And who staged or choreographed that?
So we have myself and Jessica staged the opening number because we didn't know any better. So, but I'd rather show some of the school performances than our lackluster attempt at an opening number from 2011.
Here we go.
I'm just a Broadway cat. Tired please. And for a second street to be in our show. Listen to the lullaby of Broadway.
Well, that was a trip down memory lane. Wow.
It certainly was. Great memories, too.
Sure.
10 years ago. That is hard to believe.
Now, that opening number, was snippets of the various shows that were presented during that first Minty season?
Yeah, so what we saw were the 5 shows: Hill, the High School Musical, Villa, Bye Bye Birdie, Farrell, Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, Peters, Fiddler on the Roof, and C, High School Musical 2. And it was, like I said, we didn't know what we were doing that first year, and I've mentioned about it before. The morning of the Minties, we went to Snug Harbor, we rehearsed from 9 to 12, with just a tape recorder. There was no band. My musical director at the time, Mike Ancona, was playing at church gigs in the morning, so he couldn't get there in the morning, so we rehearsed to a CD player. Everyone went home. Then at 5 o'clock, we all came back for another rehearsal, 5 to 7. The show started at 7 with the small band that we had there. But I vividly remember picking up Joe O'Malley on that first ceremony. And we're driving to Snug Harbor, and we're just talking. And in my mind, I'm thinking, we're just going, a rehearsal for a show. This is nothing special. This is nothing. It was going to be a one-and-done deal. I didn't think it would last before that. And then we get to Snug Harbor, and we're doing the opening number in the clip that you just saw. And then, this is still at the rehearsal, I'm backstage, and the school started coming out with the nominees. And everyone in the audience started going wild. And at that moment I said, wow, this could be something. This might become something special. That was my first inkling. My second inkling was when Joe won the very first award, and 500-600 people in the music hall went wild.
Wow.
And I was like, this is crazy. He is from C. And he's having people from Villa, from Farrell, from Peters go nuts for him. And that showed the community spirit of the Minties at that moment. It was not about the competition. You're upset if you lose, you want to win, I get that. But for me, it was always about bringing the schools together to have the experiences that I saw when I was doing all the shows at the schools.
Wow.
And that was very special. So that was set the bar, and we've kept going higher and higher since.
Well, you know, we had just seen this clip from 2011. What is it about the opening number? I mean, here it's been a tradition now for these past 10 years, and you've had how many different choreographers associated with the opening number?
Not counting me and Jess.
Right.
I had that first year, my dear friend Christina Moore was what we call the Marvettes, that would hand out the trophies as the winners came on the stage. And she is a fantastic dancer and just fantastic at everything she does. But she said to me after that ceremony, she goes, next year you're having an opening number with dancers and I'm choreographing it for you.
Okay.
I said, all right, let's do it. So then for that second year, we now have 2 more schools that add on, Moore and Notre Dame. So now we have all 7 Catholic high schools participating. Snug Harbor isn't going to work anymore. So we go to the St. George, outgrowing Snug Harbor. Now we're going to be on the St. George Theater stage. So
Pretty much a Broadway stage
yes.
on Staten Island.
Yes, so now we have to pull out all the stops.
Right.
And Jess and I start planning the opening number, and what we did for the first few years was take a song from each nominated show and parody it, and have the dancers do a big number to that. And that went well until the 4th year, when because of my zest.
Your over-enthusiasm?
Yes. The opening number ran 18 and a half minutes long.
I remember that.
That was the first one you were at. And I said, we need to curtail this just a bit. And it became where we would have one big opening number where we'd talk about all the shows. And I've been blessed to have Christina, our friend Lana from Wagner, and then for the last few years, Geraldine Buffy Whalen be the choreographer for our opening number. And what's been so fantastic, and I think a testament, not to the Minties, but to the power of theater, is all the alumni that want to come back and help and stay involved. So I'll have dancers that have graduated, and they'll return, and if Buffy couldn't make a rehearsal, if she's working with one group of dancers, they're running things, they're seeing what they would change and fix, and just to have alumni want to come back and make it better so that the current generation enjoys it just as much as they did is also very, very special.
Now you have a call out for alumni for this 10th anniversary.
Yes, we do. We certainly do. We have about...
Come one, come all.
Yes, at least 50 alumni coming back, and we want all our dancers to come back for a legendary opening and closing number. I won't give anything else away, but we are doing both. But I would love to show and highlight some of my favorite opening number moments of the last 10 years.
With parodies?
With a few parodies, but not 18 and a half minutes long. So enjoy.
Hey Mikey, look around. Everybody's in the theater and they finally sat down.
Hey Jesse, come and see. The orchestra is tuned and playing in the right key.
So let's go test the mics now, so the audience can hear all our part.
And I know that the lights are too bright now.
I think we're almost ready to start. We might well welcome to the Minties. Oh, we're having there, the man in his chair. And 22 Tom and controller, that'll be sing with Hills family on track.
Singing on the Irish.
Who can help but clap?
It's your night to shine. Welcome to the Minties. It's finally
was wondering, here
Oh,
here we have this anniversary special, and you've been the guiding force behind 10 ceremonies. Is there a particular year or ceremony that's still you still remember, or one that stands out as perhaps your favorite, or the high water mark?
I don't want to say favorite, but anyone who has been in this show, I've been in that one, knows my love for the 2013 ceremony. And there were many factors
And what was
that
so
played
special
into
about
that.
2013?
So, one, and I will call out my mother, because I called her out once before on this. It was, as always, the first Sunday of June, and the first Sunday of June 2013 was also my law school graduation. And she said, "No way am I going to your law school graduation in the morning and the Minties at night. That is too much." So I said, "Fine." So we moved the Minties to a Saturday night. And the fun aspect of it was doing it on a Saturday and then going to the Staten afterwards for an after party. Again, with all the students, whether you won or you lost, you were there, you were having fun, you were continuing the celebration. So there was this building camaraderie that was bubbling in 2013. The second aspect was thanks to an increase in donors, and been very, very blessed. This year we crossed the $100,000 mark in giving money back to our school's theater programs.
Very important.
And that was, from day one, I said, if we're going to celebrate and recognize these schools, we need to have it in a way that I'm not the beneficiary of it, that the schools are the beneficiaries of it. So for the first 2 years, the winner of the St. Genesius Award for our outstanding musical, again tying in our Catholic identity to it, would receive a monetary prize. That third year was the first year that all the participating schools received a monetary prize.
And that monetary prize could contribute towards costume, set,
Yes.
the royalties,
Yes.
paying of the orchestra personnel.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And we, when arts budgets were the first to get slashed, we looked at this opportunity to give a little something to help sustain these departments. So a second reason why that was so special. And then it was just something in the performances. The talent just reached a maximum level. We've showed these clips numerous times over the last 12 weeks, but each of those performances raised the bar from where it had been rising the last 2 years. I will say, and it's no secret, that Farrell's The Drowsy Chaperone is in the top 3 of my favorite shows that I've seen over the last 10 years. Every single role in that show was so perfectly cast that it just created, that was your theater magic. A phenomenal cast. Villa doing 42nd Street and having the curtain rise on the St. George stage. That was fantastic.
I mean, there's nothing like an opening number. And
Yes.
that particular opening number is all about the curtain going up and seeing those feet.
Yes.
And then
Rising
as the curtain
to the
rises
ranks.
and seeing a cast of young teenagers tapping their heart
Doing
away.
original
just-
Gower champion choreography.
You bet, yeah.
And we had Hill do Oliver that year, C doing Grease, Moore doing Hairspray, Peters doing Phantom, and then...
Which was really, I mean, truth
Yes.
be told, I mean, that was Andrew Lloyd Webber's Phantom that was presented on Staten Island.
Yes.
It wasn't the Maury Eston Arthur Kopit Phantom, which is a lovely production.
Yes,
a lovely script,
it was the
but, I mean,
running on Broadway and then...
Right,
down
for a
on
Staten Island Catholic high school to be given the rights to present that and to have Anthony Massa and a cast of kids from all over the island,
Yes.
It
was
Wow.
fantastic, and sellouts every night over at Peters, and then Notre Dame doing Leader of the Pack, and,
One of my favorite
and
shows.
Jess Menino closing out the Minty show with River Deep, Mountain High, and all those fantastic numbers, and that also cemented the tradition of the final performance being the show-stopping, everyone get up and dance.
Well, that's one of the awards that you have created over the years, is the number that sticks out from
Yes.
the shows.
So
And since not everybody in the audience will have gotten to see it, you're giving the opportunity to
Yes.
present that number with its original staging, which is really great. Yeah.
Absolutely. So let's take a look back to some of my favorite memories and moments
All right.
from that 2013 ceremony.
Well, here we are, my favorite month, June. Minty month, Tony Award month, and my birthday.
Most importantly. Two of those three are not happening though this year and this month, but you'll still be turning blank.
57, thank you. So Mike, here we go. What is a typical Minty month like, leading up to the preparation of the ceremony?
So it really starts in earnest, the beginning of May. We start having our opening number rehearsals with the dancers. And then a week or so before Memorial Day, we announce our nominees.
Mm-hmm.
And the first nominee rehearsal is always so special because you gather everybody into B9 at Wagner College, the dance studio.
I was just going to ask, where do you hold the
at
rehearsals?
Wagner, and I have to say, cannot give enough thanks to Wagner College for 10 years, an institution that's near and dear to both of our hearts,
yes.
that have really helped, again, the Minties become the organization that it is, to have students, to walk around on a college campus, to get that college feel, to interact with faculty and even the president to come down and greet them at rehearsals is always very special. So the nominees are announced usually a Monday night. Then that Tuesday afternoon we have our first rehearsal. They all come in the room, and I always say, most of the people in this room. Go and meet somebody that you don't know. Sit with somebody that you don't know, and make a new friend. Because what is so special to me is the nominee rehearsal process. because now you're having students for the first time. Yeah, it's special when all the schools come in and rehearse, but they've been with each other for the last 7-8 months. Now you're having students that don't know each other and that are coming together and forming friendships. So you're having the C kids that only did the C show become friends with the Hill girls, with the Farrell guys, and vice versa. And that's my favorite process, working with those kids, seeing the friendships form. And that's always a lot of fun. We do that the last few weeks of May. And then it's been now, I think, 5 or 6 years, Minty Eve, as it's known in my house, we have our Sitz Probe with the orchestra. And that is just incredible to have, 10 professional musicians that are making your music come alive. And especially, and another tip of the hat to the great Andrew Monteleone, who orchestrates the opening and puts all the incidentals together. And
he is a frequent contributor to some of the dialogue, I must say.
Yes, the contributor to the dialogue.
Yay, Monty!
He does it all, truly. It can't be done without him. And he orchestrates it, gives it to the band, they pick it up like that, and it comes alive. It's not just me at the piano playing anymore. We have an orchestra, 24 hours, it's going to be on the stage at the St. George. And then usually I get home around 7:30, 8 o'clock, Minty Eve, and then I do all my seating. So there's very little sleep.
Like a bride. It's like a wedding reception. Who has to sit where? This person can't sit next to that person.
And of course, who is the only one that tell me where he has to sit every year? Little Hype himself.
Oh, Buckholz, thank you.
But he needs to get his good camera angle from the seat. So, but now Minty morning arrives. And as anybody knows, that is my favorite part of the day. Because now we're at the St. George. You're on that same stage where Tony Bennett has performed, where Cal Burnett performed, where Smash, School of Rock, it's all been on that stage. And now we're going to put our high school performers on that stage. And the energy and the excitement in that room. We get there at 9. The dances start meandering at 9:30. 10 to noon. The nominees start getting there. Then all the schools arrive for a noon rehearsal. The band is there. And now for the first time, you're seeing every school perform. And it is just constant cheering. It's excitement. It is saying, oh, I can't wait. We saw this in rehearsal yesterday. You need to see it now. And it's just the excitement is building and building and building. We've also, again, learned to tweak some things along the way. The rehearsal used to end at 5, and we'd have literal no break in between. Thankfully, we've now cut it down to a tidy hour and a half to get everybody in and out. And then you're just hanging out in the theater the rest of the day is just so much fun. Putting the last minute touches on things, going over my lines. As Jess said last week, me having a panic attack a half hour before, thinking I forgot something.
Making sure the step and repeat is up too.
Yes, that's your job, putting that together. And then 7:02, 7:03.
Yep, like clockwork.
We're off and running.
Yeah.
And every year, it's such a well-oiled machine because I'm blessed, absolutely blessed to have the best of the best working, on stage,
and the staff.
off stage.
I mean, the staff at the St. George.
Well, it's professional.
Yeah.
They do it for the pros. They are pros. So it always just runs so special.
Yeah.
And so
well, I'm looking forward to August 8th's gala.
Yes, me as well for our very special 10th anniversary celebration. But we do have
all those alums.
Yes, and I want to highlight some of our other alums and some of my other favorite performances from the last 10 years now.
You know, Mike, I wish we could see some of those performances again.
Well, you know, Charlie, we can. Talk about a segue. You know, it's a blessing in disguise. Unfortunately, you know, we could not have a true ceremony this year handing out awards because most of our schools didn't get to do a show over this year and last. But on August 8th, we are back. We have a fantastic program, and we have our schools getting to present some of the shows that they've put on for the last 2 years. But with some added time, we are in the wonderful circumstance to acknowledge, to recreate, to shine a light on some of our favorite alumni performances from the last 10 years. So we are busy at work putting together some arrangements and recreating some of the performances that you've seen all night long. So we have, like I said, over 50 alumni returning. It is not too late if you want to come and participate in our alumni reunions. We're doing it by schools. We're having a certain medley for each school, recreating the best of the last 10 years. Go to our website, go on Facebook, the sign-up info is there. And if this doesn't entice you, maybe seeing some of those folks that are returning will help the cause.
James McKeon,
Annalise Scarpacci,
Janine Bruin,
Caitlin McBratney,
Gianna Rocaro,
Brian Kopp,
Jillian Jackman,
John Primavera,
Rosalie Chiaffi,
Daryl Whalen, Grace Kaiser,
Fiona Gannon,
Elby Cespedes,
Jenna Salvi,
Amanda Rose Benjamin,
Lauren Cochran, Victoria Miller,
Summer Moran,
Christian Cespedes,
Mariana Gunther,
Cole Sutherland, Alyssa Slavin,
Alexa Rose Passante,
Gianna Caligari,
Brooke McEwen,
Phil Butcher-Grossi,
Maria Elena Rumayor,
Anthony Nassa,
Notre Dame Academy, St. Joseph Hill Academy, class of 2014,
Monsignor Farrell High School,
Moore Catholic High School,
St. Joseph by the Sea High School, class of 2017.
St. John Villa Academy, class of 2012,
New Notre Dame Academy High School,
St. Peter's Boys High School,
class of 2016,
class of 2018.
the class of 2020, and I want you to meet me at the Minties.
meet me at the Minties.
Meet me at the Minties.
meet me at the Minties,
Meet me at the Minties.
Meet me at the Minties.
To meet me at the Minties.
Meet me at the Minties. Meet me at the Minties.
And I want you to meet me at the Minties.
You can meet me at the Minties.
Meet me at the Minties.
And meet me at the Minties.
Meet me at the Minties.
Meet me at the Minties.
And don't forget to meet me at the Minties.
I want you to meet me at the Minties,
Meet me at the Minties.
meet me at the Minties,
Better meet me at the Minties.
And we want you to meet me at the Minties!
You know something, Mike? I've been having a wonderful time sitting down with you, talking about the Minty Awards and memories. I haven't asked you, what's your favorite Minty memory?
My favorite Minty memory is very bittersweet, and it is from the 2018 Minty Awards. And that was the year, unfortunately, that St. John Villa closed. And I said, you know, we needed to do right by the school. We needed to do go out in style and celebrate a half decade of Villa drama. So they had produced Aida in the fall, which was their Minty musical. But that spring they did High School Musical, and Rob Butler, knowing it wasn't going to be their Minty show, asked if I would play in the pit. And I said sure. And it was at one of the shows that and they're performing, we're all in this together, and I said, that's it. That's what we're going to do.
That's the song.
Yeah. And if that doesn't speak volumes to what the Minties are all about, we are all in this together.
Right.
And that night, they do Aida. They do a fantastic job. They bring down the house with the Aida performance. And then we have every Villa alumni who was in the audience get up on that stage. And the result to me was it was pure theater magic. The joy and the happiness that was exuding from the performers far outweighed any of the sadness of the school closing, of all of that. And to me, that is the Minty memory of the last 10 years.
Wow.
So I'd like to share it with you now, if we can.
All right.
2018, we're all in this together.
Together.
You know, you've been doing all the asking of the questions, and I didn't ask you. You've been involved with the Minties since year 4. You were judged for the Minties for a number of years. You are the hype man. What would be your favorite Minty memory?
Actually, I have 2. Going up to Notre Dame Academy and seeing Jesus Christ Superstar and Xanadu. Those are probably my two favorite Minty memories.
They certainly were fantastic, and you saw a bit before as to why they the only school to be back-to-back St. Genesius Award winners. So,
Congrats to all those kids involved in those shows.
Yes, and to really all our students.
Really.
And speaking with the students, the alumni that are coming back, there is an excitement. It's about a return to normalcy, but it's also about going back to their roots and getting back up on that stage. So I am just really very excited.
This guy's the Pied Piper.
Well, and to me, it's really very special that, 10 years ago, an idea to have it grown into something beyond what we could have ever envisioned. And it is thanks to really, first off, everyone that has ever stepped foot on the Minty stage, every sponsor, every volunteer, every hype man that I've had that has believed in the mission and helped it grow. The directors that have supported the Minties, that have pushed their students to do better, to get them on that stage. The parents that have always
Always driving.
Always driving, picking up.
Hosting parties.
Yes, and supporting
buying wigs.
But the biggest thank you, and the reason why we're here today celebrating the 10th anniversary, is because of the students. If they had made it a competition from day one, it would have been 1 year, one and done. This could have fallen, as I always say, it's more than a $30 award. The Minties is a feeling. And from the get-go, the students had that feeling. They knew that we were there to celebrate their achievements, to celebrate each other's achievements. And we get wrapped up in the award portion of it, but at the end of the night, like we've seen, it's about cheering on each other's performances and believing in the power of theater and everything that you've learned from your Catholic education. So I personally thank each and every student that has graced the Minty stage for helping us make 10 marvelous years.
Wonderful. I mean, just to say, I've said this before, but, the athletes get their awards, the scholars get their awards. Those theater kids spend just as much time auditioning, rehearsing, and performing that, you give them that acknowledge, that extra pat on the back.
And the theater kids are also the scholars, and they're also the athletes,
Yes,
and
they
they're
are.
juggling all those different responsibilities at an early age. They're learning teamwork, they're learning dedication, and it has been the greatest joy and privilege of my life to be able to recognize them on the stage, and I am so looking forward to recognizing them once more on August 8th at the St.
Put it there, pal.
Charlie,
Congratulations,
thank you
Mike.
very, very much. And you know how we have to end this, right? I think you do. So don't forget on August 8th,
meet me at the Minties!